Welcome to this Dynamics 365 tutorial, where we simplify complex concepts into practical insights. Today, we're diving into an essential foundation of database design in D365 Finance and Operations, the primary key. Let's begin with the basics. A primary key is a unique identifier for each record in a table. It ensures data integrity by preventing duplicate entries. Every table must have it, either explicitly defined or system-generated. Here's what makes a primary key so important. First, it guarantees uniqueness. No two records can share the same key. Second, it can never be empty. Every record must be identifiable. And third, it powers performance. Queries and joins are faster and more efficient. Now, let's break down the types of primary keys in D365. First, we have the single-field primary key. This is the simplest form, just one field that uniquely identifies a record. Think of an sales ID and in sales table. Then, we have composite primary keys. Here, two or more fields are combined to ensure uniqueness. A good example is sales ID and line number and RecId in a sales order line table. Together, they identify each row. Next up, let's understand implicit versus explicit primary keys. In most tables, Dynamics 365 automatically includes a system field called RecId. It's a 64-bit integer and serves as a unique identifier. This is known as a surrogate key, and it's what we call an implicit primary key. But in business scenarios where meaningful fields like product ID or sales order ID should define uniqueness, you set up an explicit primary key using a custom field or fields. So, how do you set a primary key in Dynamics 365? You do it by defining a primary index on the table. To set it, right-click the table in Application Explorer. Open its properties. Locate the primary index property and assign the appropriate index. That index must have allowed duplicates set to no. Now you might be wondering, how do I find the primary key for an existing table? Here's how. Open the table in Application Explorer. Check the primary index property. Open the index and verify its fields. Make sure Allow Duplicates is set to no. That's your primary key. If you're working as a developer, here's a quick X++ snippet to programmatically retrieve the primary key index. Simple, efficient, and reusable. Let's wrap up with a quick pro tip. Since AX 2012, every new table by default uses the RecId as its primary key. This approach streamlines system design and ensures consistency across all records. But remember, if your table demands meaningful business logic for uniqueness, always define an explicit primary key with a custom index. That's all for this session on primary keys in Dynamics 365. If you found this helpful, be sure to check out the rest of our content where we simplify Dynamics 365 for you, one concept at a time. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.